Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with our main topic. Well, every year on the 31st of July, we celebrate African Women's Day. It is a day dedicated to recognizing and emphasizing the role of women's organization in achieving political freedom and promoting gender equality, and also standing on the role of the women at all political and development levels in a number of African countries. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to host this morning in the breakfast show our dear guest, Auma Rukia, the Deputy Secretary for Female Affairs in the General Union for African Students in Egypt. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to meet you, and thanks for hosting.
My pleasure to host you. Well, let's start, Ms. Rukia. First, you are living in Egypt and you are from Uganda.
Yes. Please.
Yes, you are studying at the Cairo University?
Yes.
What do you study?
Majoring in accounting. I'm going to my fourth year.
Accounting, yes.
In the Faculty of Commerce, English section.
Yes, very good. That's very good.
Thank you.
When President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was the president of the African Union, he was very keen on the women empowerment.
Yes.
So what's your comment on this?
My opinion on that, I think he did a great role. And in that policy, he also made sure that this process keeps on going and other people also keep on carrying out the activities that he was suggesting to be done. And in that process, at least there is some achievements and improvements that are being carried out.
Yes, yes. So, Ms. Rukia, why is it important to celebrate the African Women's Day?
It's really important to celebrate this African Women's Day. First and foremost, it helps the women achieve to feel like they are very important in the community, and also they have this feeling that they are valuable, and they can also have a right to say anything they really feel or they have at their mind. So I really think it's very important because they express their feelings, they can have different ideas, they can express, and they are also taught their rights.
Yes.
So it's really a very good thing.
Yes, of course, for the recognition of the role played by the women in Africa as a working woman, as a mother. Yes.
Actually, nowadays, even you can find women who are engineers, doctors.
Yes.
And they're even sometimes taking over, or they
as
perform.
a judge, yes, here in Egypt, for example.
Okay,
yes.
And they do even sometimes some activities better than the men. So
yes,
yeah.
Yes. So when did Africa start celebrating Women's Day? Is it since 1962?
Yes, it started in 1962 in Dar es Salaam.
Why exactly in 1962? Why?
Because that's when I think the recognition, or that's when the women started ganging up and they're like, we should really do this. And yes, so it started in Dar es Salaam. That was in Tanganyika. But currently it's called Tanzania.
Yes.
And then they formed an organization of the African Women's Organization. And then in 1974, that's when they did another organization, and it's called now the Pan-African Women's Organization.
Yes.
Yes.
So what is the role of the Pan-African Women's Organization?
According to my opinion and according to my knowledge, the main importance is to help women like achieve their roles, and they have goals that are set that they have to achieve, like women emancipation, and to achieve very many good roles when it comes to the female department. What
are some of the recommendations that came out of the organization, the Pan-African Women's Organization?
First, the women's rights that are being followed at some extent. And also there are some rules and regulations that were set at least to make sure that the women don't get some challenges, or in case of any problem, at least the rights that are there to protect them.
Yes. So all the African countries are members of this organization?
Yes.
Yes.
To some extent, yes.
How does the African women face the challenges that are facing or encountering the African continent?
When you talk about the challenges, there are really, really very many challenges when it comes to the African women. First and foremost, maybe like they have challenges like rape, and also like when it comes to the marital status, they have also that challenge. When it also comes to the work department, sometimes they're like, no, a woman cannot do this, a woman cannot do this. And yet sometimes in reality, they can also do something very well. And maybe sometimes when it comes to the jobs, if it's to get promoted, they are supposed to maybe give in sexually in order to get the high ranking, and that's not really nice. So
Yes.
it's supposed to be worked upon.
Yes.
And
yes.
at least there are some processes that are being carried out to make sure that they are being solved.
What are some of the challenges that faces the African women? Violence against women, for example.
Like, for example, the examples of violence against women, we have rape, we have defilement, and we have marital problems where
Yes.
maybe the husbands beat up the women and all these things.
So what are the organizations or the unions that could help the women to face these problems? Like, as we've mentioned, the Pan-African
African Women's Organization.
What else? What are other organizations or
when
unions?
When it comes to like Egypt, I know the African Women's Society.
Yes.
So that one also, at least it's because it's set in Egypt and it helps the African women in Egypt. And when it comes also to different countries, they also have different organizations corresponding to their countries.
Yes, and also we have the National Council for Women here in Egypt,
yes,
of course.
National Council for Women in Egypt.
It plays a big role, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. So to what extent do you see the importance of progressing with the social and economic status of women in the African states?
When it comes to, when you talk about the economic status, when you look at currently the economy, there are very many business women in the country, and like in different countries in Africa. There are very many business women, and this one really contributes to the economy by giving maybe the taxes and all these things, and of which these taxes are used for developing the different countries. And then when you come to the society, a woman is a mother by nature. So they build and nurture all their children to come into the big men and the big women that you see currently in Africa. Yeah.
Yes. So what is the role that is played by the African women in order to develop the African identity?
The African women, at least, they're doing this by coming out and by making sure they have the right to speech, where they can be like, you know what, as a woman, I'm supposed to do this. As a woman, I have the right to do this. As a woman, I'm supposed to get this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to what extent are the African countries keen on empowering girls on the African continent?
Most cases, they are doing this by creating very many organizations.
Yes.
And through these organizations, they teach the women maybe leadership skills, teaching these different women their talents and making them believe that they can really do something, not just sitting back by themselves and not doing anything. So,
are there still gaps or, I mean, obstacles, okay, for young women and girls in the region that could prevent them from obtaining their full rights?
To some extent, yes, because when it comes to African countries, we are not like really developed. So I'll take an example of some obstacles like the transportation or the internet. Not everyone can access the internet, whereby maybe you could be like, you could post all the information on the internet about the African women. And there are very many women who are not updated about their current status. Some women don't know their rights, and some are ignorant about the do's and don'ts. As a woman, what am I supposed to do? Because like previously, or most women, that they had this mentality, no, you know, my grandparents did this, so I can't do this, and of which it's really draining them and bringing them just backwards. So
what are the steps that are needed for a girl or a woman to know her rights? For example, how do you see the importance of education in making a girl stand up for herself and speak about her rights?
Like, as I said before, the groups that are being formed, like the society in Egypt, or like other different countries that are being formed, all these are helping them to, for example, they can make leadership trainings, and all these, through these leadership trainings, they can tell them, you know what, this is your right. in case you have this kind of a problem, you're supposed to contact this department and this department. Maybe in case you're raped, you're supposed to contact, maybe go to the hospital or contact the police.
Yes.
So through this, they are educating them, and that's how they can get to know about all this information.
Yes.
Yeah.
So education is going to help the girl or the woman in Africa to speak up for herself.
Exactly.
Speak loud for herself, of course, and defend herself and her rights.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And also would help, education would pave way or help the girl to know how to take care of herself concerning the health.
Yes,
field.
health-wise, you know, when, for example, a woman is maybe studied to be a doctor,
Yes.
or maybe a gynecologist, it's really easy for a woman to approach a woman when it comes to their health-wise duties.
Yes.
So at least that one they can know that, you know what, in case I have this kind of a problem as a woman, I'm supposed to do this and this and this, because the medical sector at least tries to cater for all these problems.
Yes, yes. I can see that you are wearing an earrings with the shape of Africa, and inside it the Queen Nefertiti. Yes.
Yes.
Why did you choose this? Queen Nefertiti, of course, is a symbol of intelligence and
yes.
strong woman, of
Yeah,
course.
my earrings, of course, it's the map of Africa because I'm an African woman.
Yes.
And the queen on my earrings was a very intelligent woman, so I love them.
So it's great.
Thank you.
So how has the protocol of the African Charter on Human Rights help in to face the forms of discrimination against a woman? The African Charter.
And when it comes to the African Charter and other forms of defending the woman, yes. Most times, let me say, they work with the Defense Department, or when it comes to the law-abiding departments, whereby they set rules that in case a woman is raped, when it comes to this case, if you're caught, if the guy is caught, or in case of any reported case, maybe the man, for example, can go to prison maybe for this kind of years. Yes. Or in case you do this to a woman, or if you beat her, you're supposed to do this and this. So
there's a punishment.
Yes, there's a punishment for this.
Yes.
At least that way they can feel like, at least I'm safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, in your opinion, how has Egypt succeeded in achieving a great deal concerning the women empowerment on political, also economic, and also on the social level?
When it comes to this question, when it comes to Egypt, there are very many ways that they're trying to make and make sure that the African woman in Egypt has the right, at least the right of speech, and has like that feeling that, oh, at least I can do something for myself. So in most cases, they're also making sure that they have a goal that they're working upon up to 2030. They have a goal to achieve by 2030 to make sure that at least as a woman, you can really do this and this.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. So in your opinion, what is the importance of the role of the International Women's Organization in the African continent in empowering women?
This role, at least since it's like an international organization for women, it brings up like different women from different backgrounds, from different African countries, different cultures. So at least they group up and they raise like their challenges, they raise their opinions, because it starts from the beginning where they make small groups, maybe to the villages, and then districts, then country, then inter-country level, then international level. Yes.
What is the role of the African women in building the personality of the children and raising them?
When it comes to this, a woman is a mother. A woman nurtures, a woman teaches the children. You know what, you're not supposed to do this. You know what, you're supposed to eat like this. So when a child is growing up, and these children are both boys and girls, so these boys are nurtured into men, and the girls are nurtured into the women. Yeah.
Yes. So to what extent does the family relations could affect women's economic and political empowerment?
When it comes to this, when you relate to families, it depends the kind of family where you're coming from. For example, the male gender, if the man in the family is treating the woman right, or doesn't disrespect her, doesn't beat her up, she'll be like, oh, at least I can speak for myself, at least I can do this. But if the man can beat, he feels like, yes, I'm the man. Of course, he's the man, but you're not supposed to violate her rights. You're not supposed to beat her up because she's a human being. You're supposed to treat her like a human.
Yes.
So all these challenges depend. If they are treated well, at least they'll be like, yes, I'm valued. But if they're treated badly, they'll feel so down. They feel like they cannot do anything. And these ones, always, when you refer to the question you asked me before, they are supposed to face punishments because they're treating a human being like is not a human being. So
yes,
yeah.
So Ms. Rukia, what is the role of the General Union for African students in all fields in supporting and also empowering the African women?
When you talk about the General Union, like it's general for all African students in Egypt.
Very good.
And this one covers over 40,000 students in Egypt. So at least we volunteer to make sure that the students, they air out their challenges, they tell us all what they're going through. And through this, we are also celebrating the African Women's Day, by the way.
Yes.
So when we are celebrating the African Women's Day, we invite like super women and other big people to talk to the students, to talk to different people, educate them, tell them that this is your right, this is what you're supposed to do, in case which kind of guidance do you need. And also we do culture shows whereby different cultures, so it's kind of entertainment at the same time as education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the main role in Egypt.
So what are the coming plans, or what do we expect in the coming future from the Union?
By the way, we have an event on 10th of the African Union for the African Women's Day. We are celebrating it on 10th. That was supposed to be on 31st, but it was a public holiday, definitely.
Yes.
And then we have very many more activities, and it's nurturing leaders. For example, I'm the Deputy Secretary for Female Affairs. And in this form, we also we have a specific union for the girls' affairs. Yes. So in case of any challenges, the girl child or the women can talk to us, and we forward the information so that they are helped out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So how do you see the role of media in making spreading awareness to the African women?
To a greater extent, they are hoping to create awareness. For example, in case there is this kind of case that has happened, the media will tell the people, you know what, this has happened. Though some people may feel like, yes, it's not so good. What has been carried out is not good. But at least they have told us that it has happened and they are going to do this and this about it.
Yes.
So that's at least they create the awareness, the education when it comes to the media, Facebook. They post this kind of information. That's how we get the information about all this.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. I really had the pleasure to have you today.
Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Auma Rukia, Deputy Secretary for Female Affairs and General Union for African Students in Egypt.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for following me in this segment. My name is Amal Mukhtar. I leave you with the rest of the segments of the breakfast show with my colleague Shireen Aid.